Good evening, you are watching Global News Network. Good evening, I am Jiang, and here are the latest updates on the escalating tensions between the United States and Iran. Tonight's top story: tensions between the United States and Iran have intensified, raising global concerns over a potential military conflict. Diplomatic efforts are ongoing, but military movements in the region suggest both sides are preparing for possible escalation. To understand the current situation, let's take a quick look at the background. The relationship between the United States and Iran has been strained for decades. The conflict traces back to political disagreements, sanctions, and military incidents in the Middle East. Recent developments have brought these tensions back into the global spotlight. According to recent reports, the United States has increased its military presence in the Persian Gulf. Additional naval forces, including aircraft carriers and destroyers, have been deployed. Meanwhile, Iran has responded by strengthening its defense systems and conducting military exercises. Both nations have issued strong statements. The U.S. government has warned against any threats to its allies, while Iran has stated it will defend its sovereignty at all costs. Satellite images and defense sources indicate unusual troop movements across key strategic locations. U.S. bases in the Middle East have been placed on high alert. Air defense systems have been activated, and surveillance operations have intensified. On the other side, Iran has reportedly mobilized missile systems and reinforced positions near critical waterways. The Strait of Hormuz, a vital global oil route, remains a focal point of concern. The rising tensions have already impacted global markets. Oil prices have surged due to fears of supply disruptions. Investors are showing caution, and stock markets worldwide have experienced volatility. Experts warn that if the conflict escalates, it could severely affect global trade and economic stability. Despite the rising tensions, diplomatic channels remain open. Several countries, including European nations and regional powers, are urging both sides to de-escalate. Talks are being considered through neutral intermediaries. However, no concrete agreement has been reached so far. Leaders from both countries have made firm statements. The U.S. administration has emphasized its commitment to protecting its interests and allies. Iranian officials have warned that any aggression will be met with a strong response. These statements have added to global concerns about a possible confrontation. The international community is closely monitoring the situation. The United Nations has called for restraint and peaceful dialogue. Countries in the Middle East are preparing for potential fallout, while global powers are urging calm. If tensions escalate further, civilians could face serious consequences. There are concerns about safety in the region, disruption of daily life, and humanitarian challenges. Travel advisories have been issued, and some countries are evacuating their citizens from high-risk areas. Experts also warn of cyber warfare. Both nations have advanced cyber capabilities, and there are indications of increased digital surveillance and cyber operations. This adds another layer of complexity to the conflict. Let's look at what could happen next. Scenario 1: diplomatic resolution. Talks succeed and tensions gradually reduce. Scenario 2: limited conflict, small-scale military actions without full-scale war. Scenario 3: full escalation, a direct military confrontation affecting the entire region. Experts believe diplomacy is still the most likely outcome, but risks remain high. Military analysts suggest that both sides are showing strength without initiating direct conflict. This strategy is often used to gain leverage in negotiations. However, miscalculations or accidental incidents could quickly change the situation. Energy security is a major concern. Any disruption in oil supply from the region could impact countries worldwide. Nations are already exploring alternative supply routes and reserves. Allies of both countries are also playing a role. The United States is coordinating with its partners, while Iran maintains strong ties with regional groups. This increases the complexity of the situation. There is also a growing information war. Both sides are using media and communication strategies to shape public opinion. Misinformation and propaganda have become key tools in modern conflicts. Now let's turn our focus to one of the most critical flashpoints in this entire situation: the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow but extremely important waterway located between Iran and Oman. It connects the Persian Gulf to the open ocean, making it one of the most vital routes for global oil transportation. To understand its importance, consider this. Nearly one-fifth of the world's oil supply passes through this narrow passage every single day. That means any disruption here doesn't just affect one region. It affects the entire global economy. The strait is only about 30 to 40 kilometers wide at its narrowest point, but the actual shipping lanes are even smaller, making it a highly sensitive and vulnerable route. Now, why is it so important in the current tensions? Because Iran has repeatedly stated that if it faces serious threats or sanctions, it could restrict or even block access to this waterway. Such a move would immediately impact oil exports from major producers like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and United Arab Emirates, and that would send shockwaves across global markets. On the other side, the United States and its allies maintain a strong naval presence in the region. Their goal is clear: to ensure that international shipping routes remain open and secure. This has led to repeated close encounters between military vessels, raising the risk of miscalculation. Even a small incident in such a tight and sensitive area could escalate quickly. Experts warn that the Strait of Hormuz is not just a geographic location. It is a pressure point. A single disruption here could trigger a chain reaction affecting energy prices, global trade, and even political stability across multiple regions. In simple terms, if tensions rise, the Strait of Hormuz becomes the center of attention. If tensions ease, the world breathes a little easier. And right now, all eyes remain on this narrow stretch of water that holds massive global importance. History shows that conflicts like these can escalate quickly if not managed carefully. Past incidents highlight the importance of communication and restraint. Public opinion in both countries is divided. Some support strong action, while others call for peace and diplomacy. Social media has amplified these voices. Experts believe that while tensions are high, a full-scale war is still avoidable. They stress the importance of diplomacy and international cooperation. As of now, no direct military engagement has been confirmed. However, the situation remains highly volatile and can change at any moment. We will continue to monitor developments closely. Reports indicate that the United States has significantly reinforced its military presence in the Middle East. This includes deployment of advanced fighter jets, naval fleets, and missile defense systems. Aircraft carriers have been positioned strategically to respond rapidly to any potential threat. Meanwhile, Iran has responded with its own show of strength. Missile units have been placed on alert, and military exercises have been conducted across key regions. One of the most sensitive areas in this situation is the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is responsible for a significant portion of the world's oil transportation. Any disruption here could have serious global consequences. Iran has previously warned that it could restrict movement in the strait if tensions escalate further. Both countries have increased intelligence operations. Surveillance drones, satellites, and reconnaissance missions are actively monitoring movements across the region. Experts suggest that any misinterpretation or accidental encounter could trigger a rapid escalation. That's all for now on this developing story. Stay tuned for more updates as the situation unfolds. I am Jiang, and you are watching Global News Network. Good night and stay informed. Continuing our coverage on the Strait of Hormuz, this narrow passage is not just important, it is absolutely critical to the functioning of the global economy. Every day, massive oil tankers carrying millions of barrels of crude oil pass through this route. These shipments mainly come from countries like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates. Their economies and global energy markets depend heavily on this route remaining open. But what makes the situation even more complex is geography. The Strait of Hormuz is extremely narrow, and ships must pass through designated lanes. This creates a bottleneck, meaning if anything blocks or disrupts the route, traffic can come to a complete halt. Now let's talk about military dynamics. Iran has developed strategies specifically designed for this region. These include fast attack boats, naval mines, coastal missile systems, and drone surveillance. Instead of large-scale naval battles, the focus here is on speed, surprise, and control of narrow waters. On the other side, the United States maintains one of the most powerful naval presences in the world. Its fleets in the region include advanced destroyers, surveillance aircraft, and missile defense systems. Their primary objective is to ensure freedom of navigation, meaning ships can pass without interference. This creates a constant state of tension, not necessarily open conflict, but a high-risk environment where both sides are always alert. There have been incidents in the past Oil tankers have been seized, attacked, or damaged under unclear circumstances. Each time, tensions rise sharply and global markets react almost instantly. Even rumors of disruption can push oil prices higher. That's how sensitive this region is. Another important factor is global dependency. Countries like India, China, and Japan rely heavily on oil shipments passing through this route. So any disruption doesn't just affect producers, it directly impacts major economies and billions of people. Now, can the Strait of Hormuz actually be closed? Experts say it would be extremely difficult to completely shut it down for a long period. However, even temporary disruption for a few days or weeks could have massive consequences. Insurance costs for shipping would rise. Trade routes would slow down. Energy prices would spike globally. This is why the Strait of Hormuz is often described as the world's most important oil choke point. In strategic terms, it acts like a pressure valve. Control it. And you influence global energy, disrupt it. And you shake the world economy, right now, as tensions between United States and Iran continue. This narrow stretch of water remains under constant watch, final line anchor style, and as the situation evolves, the Strait of Hormuz remains not just a location on the map, but a symbol of how fragile global stability can be. This is Jiang reporting.